Shalom. This is Jaime Hancock with an All Israel News update on the situation in Gaza. As Israel prepares for the start of a new campaign called Operation Gideon's Chariots 2, the IDF currently maintains operational control over around 75% of the Gaza Strip. In July, the cabinet requested IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Zamir to present a new plan for taking over the last remaining Hamas stronghold in Gaza City. Zamir proposed a solution in which the IDF would focus on maintaining operational control of area it currently holds, while further consolidating that hold and cleaning out any remaining Hamas terror infrastructure. At the same time, the IDF would conduct targeted raids and strikes to engage in a war of attrition with Hamas in the remaining areas of Hamas control: Gaza City, parts of Han Yunis, and the central camps, where Hamas still maintains a presence. Zamir's plan would allow the IDF to reduce its use of reserve soldiers who have endured repeated call-ups and deployments over the past 22 months, while maintaining pressure on Hamas in the hopes of achieving a new hostage ceasefire deal, but it would not lead to the defeat of the terror group. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz, however, favored another large-scale operation meant to defeat Hamas as a military and government force in the Strip, while also achieving another hostage release through increased military pressure. They asked Zamir to present a new plan for the takeover of Gaza City. That plan was recently approved by the Security Cabinet and given the name Operation Gideon's Chariots 2 because it represents a continuation of the previous operation launched in May, which was aimed at pressuring Hamas into negotiations. Operation Gideon's Chariots 2 has three main parts. One, the evacuation of almost 1 million Gaza City residents to the southern Gaza Strip, with most going to Al-Mawasi humanitarian zone or other adjacent safe zones. Two, following significant evacuation of residents, the IDF would begin the takeover of Gaza City, focused on areas in which the security establishment believes to be free of Israeli hostages. The operation would involve the capture of territory and the destruction of terror infrastructure, likely resulting in the demolition of much of the existing structures in Gaza City. Third, an increase in humanitarian infrastructure in southern Gaza, including access to field hospitals established by the United Arab Emirates and other nations. It could even include Defense Minister Katz's controversial Tent City plan, which, despite international opposition, would improve the living conditions of tens of thousands of Palestinians currently living in southern Gaza with minimal shelter. The large-scale ground operation in Gaza City would be conducted methodically and slowly, both to minimize risk to the hostages and to increase pressure on Hamas while trying to achieve another deal. Netanyahu believes that the operation, with its severing of the political influence of Hamas over the Gaza population and the death of more Hamas fighters, could lead the group to agree to trade the remaining hostages in order to preserve their own lives. The fight for Gaza City is expected to last anywhere from 2 months to 6 months, depending on how firmly entrenched Hamas is in the city and how much they engage in armed conflict with the IDF. Following that takeover, if Hamas does not surrender, the IDF would move on to the central camps. The conquest of the central camps is projected to take around the same time as Gaza City, especially with Chief of Staff Zamir wishing to prevent burnout among the reserve soldiers. Israel's post-war plans for Gaza are based on local government with oversight and involvement of the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, especially in the areas of reconstruction and education. The Israeli government also intends to exclude the UN and its affiliated NGOs from humanitarian work, seeing them as too compromised due to their relationship with Hamas. While the US reportedly supports this plan, Egypt is opposed. It does not want to see an Israeli takeover of the Gaza Strip, even if Israel agrees not to engage in full occupation. Thus, the recent ceasefire proposal from Egypt, which is a modified version of the Witkoff proposal, is intended to prevent Operation Gideon's Chariots 2, which is around 2 weeks away from launching officially. The resumption of large-scale fighting in Gaza City and the central camps also constitutes a significant risk to the Israeli hostages, as IDF chief Zamir himself has warned. On Sunday, Zamir said that the government should accept the deal proposed by Egypt, saying, "There is great risk to the lives of the captives and the occupation of Gaza City." Netanyahu, however, appears to be pursuing two goals simultaneously: the defeat of Hamas and the release of the hostages. The new operation is intended to impose enough pressure that Hamas collapses and accepts terms of surrender, including the release of the remaining hostages. The question that faces the IDF now is how to conduct the operation in such a way as to pressure Hamas to agree to such terms while also not increasing the risk to the lives of the hostages. This is Jaime Hancock. Thank you for joining us for this All Israel News Update. And let us know in the comments if you believe that Israel should continue to put military pressure on Hamas in order to free the hostages, or if you think Netanyahu should accept the Egyptian proposal.